Oh, goodness. Are you going to fall over? Okay, I suppose not. That's good. Okay, that's a really good way to start the video here. What we are doing is suffering unreasonably or unnecessarily here. What I'm putting you through is an unnecessary kind of hindrance to getting to the actual video here, but I find it important to go through this ritual. You see, I tried to film this video once already, and everything went basically fine. I just got ahead of myself because I was surprised by how much different this looked on this television compared to another television that I was using. Actually, in fact, this one down here. And this is the Sega CD32X, upon which we are playing the video game by the name of Fahrenheit. I have this camera very well stably placed on top of the complete Seinfeld DVD box set, and this is the front half of the jewel case. This was in a Sega CD jewel case, which means that it falls over and crumbles or shatters into a billion pieces at the stiffest of winds. But this is Fahrenheit. I'm going to play, and really I'm going to talk through this first cutscene, which I know is not what you're supposed to do, were I posting this to something awful in 2009. And this is your fire chief. He explains what you do as a firefighter to you, and what you do is fight fire. He kind of introduces you to this game. This is a firefighting simulator. It's a full-motion video firefighting simulator using the Sega True Video technology, which I never quite figured out what that actually meant, or what differentiated it from that which Digital Pictures was using, or that which cannot think of another one of the FMV producers of the time. Who did the Tia Carrera one? The Daedalus Encounter. That would be the other one. I don't know their name. These are your friends. This is Hobbs. That was Stinky, the first guy. Washington. Okay. I never figured out his name, so that's why I was paying attention there. These are your friends. They're co-workers, really. Washington helps you. I mean, they all help you. McGuire doubts you significantly in the first scene that you take. You go into a house. We'll be there very shortly. And that was the entire opening cutscene. But yes, this is a first-person, full-motion video firefighting simulator. It's quite interesting. I think it's unique, and which is really the reason why I've held on to it these many years. I don't think by any means that it's like a great game. In terms of, it may be in my top 50 that I've played over my entire life, right? Like that, maybe, perhaps. I think it's good. I think it's interesting, which honestly is better than good at this point, especially for a game I don't even have to question about buying because I already own it. What you do, and I'll play worse than I normally play for this. Oh, that help me woman is coming from the television, not from upstairs. I've probably lived my entire life, not my entire life, but when did I buy this game? When I was like 15? Is that Hobbs? I thought that was Stinky, but Stinky is, anyway, you'll see him, he brings about the ladder at the end. Anyway, so this is, the gist here is that you're offered, it's like Dragon's Lair a bit, you're offered like a series of directions. You look at whatever the option, whatever the direction points to, and then you can either follow that or not. And then, you pick wherever you want to go. You look at a door that says left, you click left, and then you go in there. So I want to go to the right because this door leads into the kitchen. And I'm going to open the door into the kitchen, and there is fire coming out of the oven. We look at the oven. I move my flashlight to examine the fire here in the oven. Washington makes a quip, identifies that the oven is on fire, there's gas, and we got to shut off the gas. Where would a gas valve be? Probably here in this utility closet, isn't that correct? Okay, so Washington, he's kind of the heavy of the group, right? But he's having trouble getting the door open. We got to help him with the door. That's I jam on A here. What I'm going to do here is give him the wrong instruction here, because I want to show you what it looks like when something goes wrong.
Good morning. You all right? Don't worry. The rescue specialist will be just fine. Never try and second guess yourself. Next time there might not be somebody there to pull you out.
Hey kid, don't worry. We got the girl out.
Now the question there is, did he die? In that situation, if you were knocked out...
Let's not have any hot dogging tonight, okay? Let's get in, search, rescue, and get out.
Yeah. If I gotta follow you, I'd like to get out in one piece. Hey, hot dog, don't forget your gear. My daughter, Emily. My daughter. Slow down. What's the story? My daughter...
Anyway, okay, so there's a girl who is trapped inside, right? That's the gist of this. And also, this gives me more time to talk about this game. So this game was not particularly popular. Nobody ever... I mean, it's not that you're going to necessarily... If you were to find a list of the top 5 Sega CD32X games, it would guaranteed be in that list, because there were only 5 games made for the combined console. But when people list their favorite video games of the 1990s, this is not showing up on anybody's lists. Nobody has tattoos of this. Nobody bought the CD soundtrack of this game were they ever to have put one out, and of course they didn't. I mean, there is an original, I think, vocal theme to that that you may have briefly heard during the intro sequence. Nobody's doing fan fiction. Nobody's doing cosplays of any of these characters. Nobody's got... I haven't checked Archive of Our Own, actually. I can't say exactly that nobody's done fan fiction of any of these characters, but this was a forgotten piece of something less than art. I mean, well, actually, no, that goes against what I genuinely feel, which is that this is a work of art, absolutely. It's a work of, it's, of course, it's like cynical, meant to, get... It was meant for... this is not some act of personal expression necessarily, but there is personal expression in this, and regardless, it's spectacular in the sense that it is made for spectacle. There's so much more spectacle to this game. They burned down a house. They had to set real things within a real house. Probably didn't burn down a real house, of course, for because you were hiring real people to work on this game, but they really did. Like, let's take this example here. What this scene is about to happen, what's about to take place in front of you, right here, which is, or is it? Okay, well now I've messed something. How is it that I somehow, I consistently come in this direction? There's a cat in the boat, and you have to come in from a certain direction to find the cat. And this is not the direction I apparently came in, but I just did a run-through of this, where we found the cat. We did not find the cat in this run, so this was just a complete waste of time. Oh, you know what? You got to go out the kitchen through the door that I entered in, not through the door that leads into the hallway that leads to the garage. So... okay, well, since this is for educational purposes only, I'm going to go ahead and go back out and find the cat, because I think you also get extra health for extra oxygen. And let's just see what happens if I fail this stage, because I'm very good at this stage, meaning that I have a functioning human memory, because... nothing changes. There's no real replay value to this game. It's a very forgettable game. Well, I mean, I won't say forgettable. I think it's very memorable, is really my thesis here. So my point is, okay, to finish the sentence that I started earlier, let's look at this scene here.
Okay, it's clear. Let's go.
Did I have to go in earlier to get to the cat? I suppose so. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Maybe the cat's run away. Anyway, at points, if you play this game, there is indeed a live cat in that boat. And they put a live cat in a boat in a garage that was on fire for this game. There was stuff was set on fire for this completely forgettable Sega CD game. Things were set ablaze for hours on end. I'm sure costing millions of dollars. Now, of course, this is a controlled flame, and I can see with my grown human eyes what this is not as if they were in. I mean, they had professionals here, of course. We're not talking about them actually. This house was not burned down, I imagine, for this game. We're going to go to the bathroom here. We are running out of time, though. But there was a lot of money spent on this. I mean, millions of dollars probably went into this game that was put out on shelves at the Walmart. Probably didn't sell tremendously well. I mean, like, I don't know for sure. I don't have sales figures, but it's not... And probably more importantly, it was completely forgotten. You could go talk to 30 people. I could go to the video game store that I go to tomorrow and say, do you know about Fahrenheit for the Sega CD32X? And they wouldn't know a thing about it, probably. And those people are very knowledgeable about video games. It's not to say that they don't know anything about video games. I think they know quite a lot about video games. I know because I've talked to them. But there's just not really a reason. There's no industrial complex to keep the memory of Fahrenheit alive. There's no massive Etsy category. I could just go on and on and on about how little of an impact this game had. But you probably get my point. There's something incongruent here, though. That this game, this is such a spectacular, so much money went into this game, that all intents, in most definitions of the term, flopped. Like, this game was a failure. And I cannot help but contrast that, and this is going to seem like an odd juxtaposition, and maybe me talking through this right now, perhaps, in fact probably, I'm going to realize how big of a leap this is. Because it feels stupid, sounds stupid, and I could not figure out which of those two words, feels or sounds, to say, and my mouth kind of had a fight with itself there for a moment as I tried to remember what word I wanted to say. It feels and sounds stupid that I'm going to say this right as I'm about to say this, but I'm thinking about how I've seen multiple videos now, a couple of podcasts, or from like YouTube guys or podcasts or whomever that I follow. I can at least name 3. One of them is Kofi Yeboah, the other one's Bill Simmons, the other one is Bomani Jones. All talking about how this year's NBA Finals, they don't feel big. And really, they all point to the fact that, like, if you watch a game in this year's NBA Finals, the NBA does not really put a lot of emphasis onto the fact that it's the NBA Finals anymore. There was a time when I was growing up, they put this massive decal under, or maybe I think it was around or under. It wouldn't have been under, but they had the logo of the Larry O'Brien trophy on the court. And you could instantly tell, okay, this is the NBA Finals, this is a big game, right? They've done some of that now with they're not doing any of it with the actual, like, any decals or any, no paint is being spilled for this, but they have it, like, on the scores table, those ad boards, they say NBA Finals. Like, there's some, but I think it speaks to something else, which is that, like, the production doesn't... Okay, so the production kind of reflects what a lot of people are feeling, because I think if this game, if these finals felt big to viewers, they wouldn't care whether or not, you know, it said as much on the court. If you know, to some extent, like, because they didn't back in the 1980s and, you know, 90s when, or maybe actually I don't know if they did in the 90s, but you watch, like, those old Celtics-Lakers finals from the 80s, they don't have the logo on the court. They don't have anything on there. Well, they have, like, the Irish fellow on the parquet floor at the Boston Garden. What do they call that? A leprechaun. And Anyway, we're in a hotel now. And I was just thinking about that, and I think it's something that speaks to... Oh, damn it. Well, damn it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so in this stage, and this always happens, you check 1 out of every 3 doors is going to be testable. They'll say, like, do we want to go in? Should we test it? If it's hot, then you can skip it. If it's cold, you want to go in because something's in there. Now, only 1 out of every 3 doors is going to be need testing. Right? The other 2, you'll just open the door and go in, and nothing's there. So now I know I can skip these 2 doors. I was frustrated by what just happened here because what we found in there was some sort of like a night, like some canister of stuff. See, this is what happens, and okay, we're just going to waste a couple seconds here, waste some of the air in my precious oxygen tank there. Thing is, when you find those like hazards, you get more air, right? And so if I stumble upon one of those early on, it's like a waste. You don't get those with it, and so now, like, I'm running up against time. Most of the time, probably like 4 out of 5 times, they'll say, should we test? You say, yeah, test it. And then they're like, it's hot, and then you can't go in. So you just waste your time anyway. And so I may be fucked already in this stage. And what I have to do in this stage is I have to find an old woman, and then I have to find her pet bird.
Are we going in? It's cold.
Oh, okay. Perhaps, and here we find the old woman. And she's going to say, now, okay, the other thing is finding the old woman does not give me more oxygen. Finding the hazards would. So that's why I was frustrated about early on, because you are not guaranteed that. I know that there is a hazard in one of the storage closets on this floor. Anyway, she's saying her baby. She's talking about a bird. That was explained in the cutscene I was blabbering over on the NBA Finals. I think generally, though, I'm comparing this video game, to these NBA Finals games because, and this is, again, yeah, this is definitely feeling dumber and dumber as I say it, but I'm going to continue to say it. This is so spectacular for something that is completely thrown into the bargain bin of history. They spent all this money on... Yeah, see, it's hot now. We don't want to go in because you would die. Spent all this money, put into all this effort, hired these actors, hired all these pyrotechnic experts, set all these things ablaze, had some guy walking around with a massive camera stuck to his head. It would have been massive. I mean, this was the 90s. There was no GoPros back then. Yeah. No AI-powered Ray-Bans back then. And, oh, this is the elevator. Ah, shit. Well, that was a waste of time anyway. Yeah, see, so now I'm getting dangerously low on oxygen, so I gotta rely on either... You basically do have to check every room. Because, like, there was a time I was playing where the bird was stuck up here. Right, now, once you find the woman, you gotta go find the bird. Sometimes you find the bird first, and you won't pick up the bird. Because the bird's gonna catch fire. You don't want the bird to be the thing you're carrying around with it. Somebody's got it. Now, I think McGuire helped the woman and sent for somebody to come up. Aha, see? And here we go. I like this scene. Because you look around these cabinets here, you fuss around a bit, and she's like, no, you barely missed it. They had these canisters of nitrogen, of napalm. They were storing all their napalm in this room. Yeah. So that's genuinely funny that they do that. I'm not laughing right now because I've seen it 1,000 times before. Because this is a difficult stage, because you really have to get... You kind of have to rely on getting fortunate here. Oh, I'm just going back the way I came. Now, I think. Right, 303.
Come on, let's make tracks.
She wants to touch me, ooh, she'll never leave me, ooh, 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 ooh. Remember that band? Okay, I gotta check. North Corridor. Okay, so... and you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna go down to the second floor. And accept that there probably is nothing for me up here. And these other ones, because I'm very fortunate to have found two things up here anyway. I found the woman, well, I found three. There were 3 rooms that I could enter. That's pretty rare. Typically you get like 1 or 2 on the first floor, and that's it. So for me to avoid, not even go through all of the corridors, there are more corridors than that. I want to say there are 8 corridors, and for me to have only had to go through 5 of them and to find what I found, yeah, I'm quite fortunate. What if I do it this time? What if this is the time that I actually complete this level? Because I've never beaten this level in 15 years of playing this game. How old am I? 30, and I bought this game when I was like 14. So 16 years of playing this game. On and off. It's not like I've been playing it every day. But I come back to it every now and then because the entire this game's entire existence is really interesting to me. This game has stuck with me. And I think my point is that this game feels very big. This game feels like a big deal. It's obviously expensive. It is, like I said, destructive, visually captivating, unique, but completely forgettable. Who gives a shit about this game?
Should we go in? It's cold.
Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see what's in there. Oh my god, they have more napalm. And again, I'm not looking. I don't know if it's napalm, but they have more canisters. And at the same time, I'm going to pause and check the manual because I want to see where am I? I'm in the south corridor, so I want to turn to the left because there are dead ends. If I were to go straight, I would hit a dead end, and they would make fun of me. They would chastise me. I don't want to be chastised because I like it when my co-workers here think that I'm capable and competent. But my point here being that I have found myself... No, that was just a stock beginning to a sentence. That was not actually a sentence I needed to say. Oh my god, I'm getting so many cold rooms. We got the bird.
You know, I'm beginning to like your style, Rookie. That little old lady's gonna be real happy.
The rest of the guys are not gonna believe this.
Oh my god. We beat the level. Well, this is... You and I, camera, are finding out about what happens in the third part here. My point is, back in the 1990s, when there was a lot of money to be made in video games in a very obvious way to make that money. I missed a ton of bonuses. But you can't really control how many bonuses you hit. You know, the level ends when you find the bird, and you don't know when you're going to find the bird, as I've just exemplified here. And so it feels incongruent that so much money and so much life and so much love and so much pain and so much effort went into this completely forgotten piece of mediocre video gamery, completely forgettable mediocre video gamery. That's not even a phrase. This game, this completely forgettable game that nobody cares about but me, 30 years ago. There's a lot of obvious effort in it, and it makes it feel significant, even though... What university is that? I'm actually curious. It would have had to be in Los Angeles, I would think. But in comparison, here we have this massive event, these finals, these NBA finals, right? This is huge. This might be the first. This will be the first time that either the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Indiana Pacers win an NBA championship. This is the first time that some of the most brightest young stars in professional basketball win a championship. Rick Carlisle, this grizzled veteran head coach. You know, he's won one in Dallas, and now he's back in Indiana, back where he couldn't do it the first time. Now he's back home doing it. Kind of like similar to Greg Vanny with the LA Galaxy last year. And whom else? Who else? Who else am I thinking of? Mark Diagonalt. Right? Wouldn't that be huge if he got one? Sam Presti. What if he was the guy to do it in Oklahoma City? They say you can never do it in a small market like that.
It would have been a lot easier if you remembered me when it came time to appoint the physics chair.
Great. What's he doing on our channel?
And we have a crazy professor who's taken over the university. I've read the manual. I know the general idea here.
Source that smoke. Rescue company will go after this Hatcher guy.
Well, now I can at least save and get to this level next time I want to. What if I just beat it?
Sticky, what's up? You're between the operations bunker on the left and the service block to the right.
It's all yours. Lead on.
Oh my god! Wait, look at this. This is my map here. This is no. I hate to see what hard is like. My god. I'm on normal. I don't play easy. I'm not some child, but anyway, I'm just gonna putz around here, and
Let's keep going.
oh my gosh.
Come on.
Oh shit! I don't even know where the fuck. I have no bearings here. Well, I guess we'll go this way. Facing west. Oh, I gotta use that damn manual. Okay. So that's very interesting. So I have no. You know what? I'll tell you this right now. I'm already disoriented. I'm in the southwest quadrant. And I think I turned right, left, and then right, and then right again. So I missed something. I'm facing west. I'll turn right at the end of this corridor here. I don't think I can do anything other than that. I'm facing south. It hits me also that I don't know where I am in the map. Okay. So I don't think I really have a point here. This is awesome, though. I mean, look at this. Well, how many games even do this anymore? How many games even do this? How many games... What other games are there that ever did this? That ever had, like, set up a system of flames shooting out of the walls in real life. Real people put in real danger at this. I don't know. I'm ready to die here. I kind of want to see... I kind of want to die. I kind of want to see what happens if I die. But, there was a real sense of, like, optimism in gaming that you could get this sort of thing done. Or that you just, like, it was, I don't know, there was just so much money flowing around games where it was like, yeah, fuck it, throw millions of dollars at a FMV firefighter game. And, yeah, let's go to the right. Let's see what happens if we go to the right. There's a door. What happens if we go into the door?
Rescue company, where are you guys? It looks like we found the operations bunker.
Well, and this is the local heroes.
Oh my god.
Did you think I'd make it that easy? Finding me is one thing. Getting out is another. I'm afraid you won't be able to blast your way through here. This bunker was designed to withstand a nuclear attack. Very well designed, don't you think?
You guys are gonna have to find another way. You gotta cut off the main power to get in there.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan to me.
Cut out. Oh wait.
That is. My other little surprises don't make you nervous.
Rookie, we gotta find that service block. I shut this guy down.
Can't be soon enough for me.
Well, okay, so here we are facing east, if you couldn't tell. And here we are in the bunker. So now we gotta leave. We currently are... Oh, wait. What? I guess I don't want to go in the way that I came. I want to see what happens if I die here. I want to see what a death in this situation looks like. I want to see if this evil professor kills me. So I want to go to the right. I want to go east. And perhaps I've made my point. I'm not 100% certain what my point was. Actually, I definitely have not made my point. Because I don't know that I had a point here. But this feels, so it's the incongruity here, right? This is nothing, but it feels huge because it obviously cost a lot of money. Shit, I don't know where the fuck I'm going. And something like the finals reflects something about right now where that is in name and certainly in legacy significant, but it feels small. It feels insignificant. It is significant, but it feels insignificant, whereas there was a point in time at which, well, and maybe not, okay, there was a point in time in which stuff like this happened, which was insignificant but feels significant. Feels like it ought to be significant, at least, maybe. Or at the very least, something this bombastic and inexpensive is insignificant. I don't know. Maybe it does not speak to anything about the current moment that we're in. But isn't there this sense of just kind of a disinterest, disengagement? What feels big anymore? I think that's really my... This also connects to... Oh, shit, a dead end.
What are you hoping to find down here?
This is a waste of time. We're gonna be toast if we don't get out of here soon.
The soon was really unnecessary there, because we'll be toast if we don't get it out of here at any rate. Anyway, yeah, I'm completely lost here. I figure I want to turn east. I'm headed south, so I'll go to the left next time I can, but that's going to take me west. Yeah, this is bizarre, but I think it's just hard for anything to feel significant right now. And that may be because that is probably for something larger than I'm actually able to really grapple with, but that may just be because, I mean, it is harder for anything to grab like a foothold with a lot of people, is the thing. Like right now, let's say back in the 1990s, back when this was out, my roommate is upstairs right now. He's in his bedroom, doing whatever he's doing. And he's watching, he has been watching like TV, like reality television on DVR, or available on streaming service like Peacock. He's been watching Vanderpump Rules on Peacock, just to name the show he's been watching. At the time, when this would have come out, even if it had been Pacers and Supersonics in the mid-1990s, if he had wanted to watch, you know, what would be the equivalent of Vanderpump Rules of the 1990s, the MTV's The Real World, he would have had to have recorded it onto a VHS tape. Oh, here's something in here. There's a big old door.
You want to try to get in?
Yeah, let's open it.
You're going to have to help me.
We'll use the force again.
Here they come. 3 blind mice.
That guy's nuts.
Don't look at me. I'm not carrying them.
Oh, okay. We're the 3 blind mice of myth there, of nursery rhyme that he spoke of. Yeah, am I disappointed in myself for not really making this sensible? It's the move from one thing to the other. It really is not clear. But it's about a feeling. And I hate it when things are about feeling, when things are not definable. Definitive, whatever, definable, whatever, you know what I mean. No, you don't. I haven't done a good job of making myself clear here. You probably don't know what I mean. I don't know what I mean. This is the entire point of this. And now I'm like disappointed in myself. I'm really upset. I really feel badly because we're going to die here. And Washington and McGillicuddy, they're going to die in here with me. We're probably going to get a death scene. Probably going to see ourselves die here. Or will we? Okay.
Come on, kid. Get your act together. Why do you think they put a gauge on this thing?
I kind of wanted to die. I wanted to see if we actually, but they won't kill us. I mean, you can die though. Some of these times you just fail and you get scolded, like in that situation. But I'm impressed with the batteries in this camera, by the way. But I would like to get good enough at knowing universities that I could identify what this is just by sight. I'm going to say Loyola Marymount. My assumption is this was filmed in California, where most things were at the time. Most things are now filmed in Louisiana or in Vancouver, or New Zealand. Okay, so we gotta go to the bunker. Gotta go to the bunker first. We're facing... no, wait. Okay, I see what I've done. But do I see what I've done? It's very hard to get any sort of orientation with what this place is on this map, because I don't see where I've entered. Oh no, wait, no, I do see what. But there's no entrance in the northeast in the northeast quadrant though. Oh, possible entrances, as it says here on the map. These possible entrances into the building. I thought it was possible entrances into other parts of the building. Okay, so well, let's see what's in this unknown room. Okay, because there should be an unknown room coming up to my right. Unless I'm completely... Yep, hey, there we go. Okay, I can read a map. It was actually my first job, was I taught orienteering at a Boy Scout summer camp. Oh, I guess we'll... This is probably going to be the mice again. Well, let's meet the mice. Let's see the mice again.
Don't look at me. I'm not carrying them.
Oh, I'm not carrying the mice. Okay. That's good. You got a little rapport, though, with your friends here. I like that about an evil... Not too many pieces of media about a professor gone mad. You know, this is kind of nice. I work at a university. It's kind of nice to have a university represented in a video game.
Must be under the nuclear physics building now.
You guys, look at this.
It's a bomb. And it's about to blow.
There's a nuclear bomb?
Use it.
Just cut the cable.
I don't know. Maybe this panel's tied into it.
What about that one over there?
We don't have time to stand around and talk about it. Just grab something and do it.
Kid, it's up to you. But I still think you should cut the cable.
Oh my god. We gotta act.
Hurry up, we don't have any time left.
Let's see what... We have quite a lot of time left. McGillicuddy.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hit the notch. Let's get out of here. Good call. I don't think they covered it when I went to the academy. Keep it up.
Okay. So we're in the northwest quadrant facing south. Okay, and I want to go... I guess I want to go to the physics... Down to the bunker. I feel like I've done everything in the wrong order, though. Now I've defused the bomb by cutting the cable with an axe. That That's kind of an interesting role reversal, by the way. That we it was me who was so panicky and unsure earlier on in the game in the house. Right, I was watching TV. They're scolding me, but now it's me who's the quick on his feet acting one. This is a great game. You know what? And I'm gonna be just completely straightforward with you. I take back what I said about it not being one of my favorite games. I think this is quite a good game. Definitely in the top 50. Probably not in the top 20. I think it could be nestled, though, between, 20 and 30. 27, probably. I don't know what else is there. At the moment, I haven't checked my top 100 games of all time list. That I do have. I was on a Discord where they were putting those together at one point. And so I put one of my own together, and then I never shared it in the Discord, because that's what you do. Now we gotta open it. Because I want to see what happens. Oh my god. Well, is there any world in which I don't get the rats?
Don't look at me. I'm not carrying them.
Okay, so now we're facing west again. So I would like to turn to the left. And that's going to take me south, yes. This is actually my difficulty with cardinal directions is really making itself apparent here. And it's kind of funny that this is happening to me. Oh, well, here's something. Is this the bunker? This is the something. This is a door. Yeah, this is the bunker. Okay, so here's the cutscene we saw earlier. And this allows me to go back to my point about the NBA Finals that everybody loves so much. The Finals... Does fucking anything feel big, though, right now? I think is the problem. And there's been so much refraction of what is of interest to you due to... so much refraction of culture due to the internet, of course, the proliferation of everything. Everybody just has infinite choice, right? So, for example, right now, like last night, my roommate was watching, Vanderpump Rules probably on Peacock, which is not the no aspersions to be cast about that. I've seen the show. I think it's a perfectly entertaining show. Though those are, I think it's a very interesting show. Actually, those are very different people from me. I will say that. And there's part of me that feels bad for them watching in the first season and knowing that there's like 11 seasons of the show. And I tried watching from the start on Peacock. And I have, as I say, I'm in the process of watching it because he's been so enraptured by it. But there's a part of it where they're all like, "Oh yeah, I'm only working here at this restaurant temporarily," they say. And then they, I know there's 11 seasons of the show. Well, seems like you ended up at the restaurant, and there's nothing wrong with working at a restaurant. Like, for a long time, I used to work at a restaurant. I actually really enjoyed it, and I kind of miss bartending. Bartended, that's what I did.
Well, that was special. Do you have any more bright ideas?
Oh, okay. Well, don't fucking yell at me. I just defused a bomb. Goodness. That was kind of funny, actually, to say that. Well, that was special. We're headed east. My question is: maybe we can leave the building to get more oxygen? It's possible that they said this at some point. We have some ludonarrative dissonance here, where they were so nice to me, and we had such a good rapport when I did the good thing with the axe and the bomb, but then they scold me. when I'm at this point the most competent member of this team. Even though really all I did was guess to use an axe. And at this point also, they have no reason to consider me the bumbling idiot of this crew, because I've done nothing but good this entire time.
What are you doing? This is the way out.
The chief's gonna have you hide for this.
Well then how do we get more oxygen?
Whoa! Sticky, what's up?
Okay, we just entered. Okay, I guess we just restarted.
Block to the right.
It's all yours.
And I did not listen to it. Did not listen to him at all. But, okay, we're in the southwest quadrant. Okay, this is really pretty straightforward. I have to follow this maze to the bunker and talk to him, and then I have to turn off the bomb, or I have to go to the service block
Lead on.
and turn. I assume that I can't, because here's what I'm thinking. In the first scene, if you go to the kitchen and you just go to the door of the closet with the valves in it, Washington doesn't say anything because we haven't like triggered the scene that says where he's like, oh, there's gas coming out of this is a terrible situation that's coming out here. And facing south here. Oh, I have made a mistake here. I haven't really made a mistake here. I have made a mistake, I guess, because I'm just taking more time to do what I've already done. So yeah, I guess this is just a general sense of ennui that we're dealing with, and I'm trying to put into context here, because I don't know that what would make the NBA Finals feel big is if like people at your office, or if like my roommate was watching it right now. And this is not me criticizing my roommate. Also, my point on Vanderpump Rules is that like there is something. These people wanted to become more than famous for being on a reality show. And so there's just this knowledge that they don't really get past that. One of them was like, one of the participants was like, oh, I want to be on Power Rangers, right? And it's been 10 years. And to my knowledge, she has not been. Right? And that's kind of, there is something sad about that. I feel badly for them. I mean, they've made a living off of this, and they are famous. It's just not for what they initially set out to be famous for. But I guess you live in a town like that, you know that it's not everybody's going to be Bruce Willis.
Service block. What are we looking for?
Sometimes you end up on fucking Fahrenheit.
With 3 distribution boxes.
I don't think with any of these actors.
Found him.
You're getting faster.
That's true.
Sorry, Chief. No.
I don't know about you, but I'd spread right down the middle like it's...
Yeah, I'm going middle. So we just have to do it all in one fell swoop then.
Jeez. I hope that did it. I can't take much more of this.
Let's get back and get hatched.
Okay. We're facing to the west, so I want to presumably go to.
Chief, we're heading back to the operations bunker.
Hey, kid. Looks like you might have what it takes after all.
We're here. I know we're at the end of the game here. There's no. I might have what it takes. I'm offended for my nameless, faceless character, just the child, the kid.
Come on.
Also, I will point out Washington is correct in both of the cutscenes we've seen. He's the guy we have to listen to. Anyway, what was I saying? Interesting. I am not going to go to the left here because there's no reason for. Now, if I cross over into the southwest, now I have to capture the professor. Still where I said I am. So okay, so I'm going to go this way because I want to see if I am where I think that I am. Then, yeah. So I guess my point is not to say that I would want my roommate to be watching the NBA Finals with me. I don't particularly, it would be nice. We would have a good time, but I don't particularly need him to be there to make it feel big. I think the point is that you need people at work to be talking about it. You need your friends to be talking about it. That's what it takes to matter. And so,
Well, that was special. Do you have any more bright ideas?
in the absence of that,
Let's keep going.
and because like he's watching Vanderpump Rules, and I'm down here playing Fahrenheit, and my friends at work are doing whatever they do in their spare time, gardening, and my friends at work are truly tremendous people. I appreciate them, but they're into like K-dramas, right? Korean television shows. That was not something we were getting over here back in the day. In the day of the 1995 NBA Finals, it just wouldn't have been something that we were dealing with. That was competing. So I don't know that my friend who's watching the Korean television dramas necessarily would have been watching the NBA Finals. But in the absence of that, then it falls to the games themselves, it falls to the league to make the production feel significant. And they haven't done that. So we are lacking this, we're craving this sort of extrinsic validation. In the absence of that, now we're our awareness is kind of heightened to the fact that we can't even really get the intrinsic validation. That's my thought here, is just that this feels, the NBA Finals feels less significant just because it is less significant right now. And I don't know that we ever we certainly don't end up finding a way back to that sort of a monoculture. Short of, I could actually see it in a bizarre fashion where I just cannot shake the fact that the cost of everything that you interact with online No, I can't exit for more oxygen. I tried exiting and they restarted me. They scolded me and then, okay, this is some ludonarrative dissonance. My apologies to the game overthinker. Do you remember that? When he was like, the ludonarrative dissonance. This is a ridiculous concept invented by overly academized.
Can't you get that guy off the airwaves?
Games right, or, whatever. Oh, man. I'm tired of playing this game, I gotta be honest with you. I've really worn out. I've been doing this for an hour, nearly. Yeah, that really, I cannot check the fact that, like, everything online is getting more and more expensive, right? Everything that you have to pay a subscription for, none of it ever goes down. ESPN Plus was like $5 when I started. It's $13 now. What is more likely, that it ends up at $20 by, within the next couple of years, or that it somehow goes back down to $5? Right? And we'll just die. I'll move to North Korea. And that's who I think of. Sinbad is who I think of with Washington here. Even though he does not resemble him physically, his voice sounds like him, and I so very rarely see him without the thing on. Without the face mask and stuff on. So anyway, I'm just gonna let this come to a pass. So my point here is that I could see that very much where, okay, at this point it's like, well, fucking everything is too expensive, and so I'll just, whatever the hell's on over-the-air television, I guess, is what I have, right? Because I have to pay X amount for I have to pay $95 for YouTube TV, and I got to pay $30 a month for fucking X, Y, and Z. What the hell does the CW have for me? And I think that could be a very feasible path in the future. We're just not going to, and then alternative, there's so much free stuff you can get for free online. Okay, ma'am. I respect you and I appreciate you as a member of this operation, but that was not made clear enough to me that I could just leave and get more oxygen, and that wouldn't be the end of the game, because I was scolded when I left. And here's the other thing. Other games, they don't scold you for making obviously bad decisions, right? Or maybe they do. I feel like I can communicate with this woman. By the way, To draw that parallel, that might have been an interesting parallel to draw, actually, by the way. All these massive credits here. None of these people probably came to Hollywood. Barry Blake, Shelley Cook, Barry Blake as Chief Chavez, Shelley Cook as Firefighter McGuire, Robert Rackey as Firefighter Hobbs, John Stoneham Sr. as Firefighter Stinky Stinkowski, and Robert Thomas as Firefighter Washington. Probably came to Hollywood thinking they were going to be in Fahrenheit for the Sega CD32X. But they ended up here. You know, they probably all had their desires maybe to become the next Bruce Willis or whomever. That's the person I'm referring to here. My goodness, I'm just looking at all of the people who were involved in the creation of this video game. It's not that there are a lot of people involved in the creation of video games today still. My goodness, look at all these people, though. For a game that you had not heard of before you turned this video on. If you turned this video on. You would have had absolutely no point to have ever interacted with. Head writer of this game was, I've lost it, Peter M. Lenkoff. Right? God, there are just so many people. Chris Wallace, colorist. Darren Sachs, location production assistant. Makeup and hair, Jacqueline Hicks and Akira Wilson. Stunt players, Shelley Cook. Oh, the stunt players were all the same people who were. That's pretty cool. They did all their own stunts. Gaffer was David Willits. Best boy was John Baker. Key grip was Christopher Dean. Best boy grip was Philip Bucklanther. Special thanks to the Toronto Fire Department. Oh my God! Oh, it was Canadian the whole time. The Toronto Fire Department, Toronto Metropolitan Police, the Toronto Film Liaison Office, the Ontario Development Corporation, filmed in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, with thanks to the agencies and the people of Toronto. I wish, what would be really funny is if this was in Waterloo, where I went to school briefly, and that had been the University of Waterloo, but this is probably University of Toronto, or what's the other big one there? London. University. London? I can't remember.
Look, if you guys need help, ask for it.
Case Western? That's in Cleveland. There's a Case something, or a Western something. Anyway. I'll look that up. Well, good for Canada. You know what? And that completely throws off my my point I was trying to make here on that. But this is my point here. This feels like nothing, completely forgotten. But there was so much effort, so much humanity went into the creation of this game, so much money went into the creation of this game. We live in a time right now where things don't feel even as big as this. Even the biggest of moments. The Pacers and Thunder in the finals right now is going to go into the dustbin of history right with Fahrenheit for the Sega CD32X. And that is a problem. And I think honestly, what I posit is that this will reverse itself due to economic factors more so than due to any intentful action on the part of people. I think we will end up back... Now, I don't know that we're ever going to end up back at a point where video games have... Because video games certainly don't matter. I won't say don't matter, but they are... Nobody's putting this amount of fucking money into a game that goes absolutely nowhere and gets put out, gets put out on shelves for $50 and nobody buys it, and then it sits in Joe's, closet for 15 years. Maybe video games don't feel big anymore, should have been the actual point here, but fucking nothing feels big anymore. And that's very hard. Now, I think that, yes, jacking up the price of media online and streaming services, and then also making the free stuff inaccessible due to way too many fucking ads that are way too annoying, and then also AI spam, is probably going to make the internet that has caused all this refraction somewhat, basically unusable.
We're gonna lose the upstairs soon.
Or... at the very least bring people back into, or at the very least cut down on the amount of choice that you have. But I don't think we're ever going to get back to the point where we're just throwing money at shit like this. It's something this obviously spectacular will just become completely forgotten for no reason. Or for the reason of it's not that good of a game. Even though I really enjoy it. It's probably top 20. I'll put it top 20. It's passing like Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2 or something.